Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. I'm your local Tamer. We are going to be slowly moving out of Transformers, almost completely, and into the Digimon TCG. So I am deciding to name this little bits of videos Your Local Tamer, because I am your local Tamer. I will be providing deck profiles every now and then at a local power level, which would mean I will be using more common and easily to obtain cards, building decks that will still be very fun at your locals. You may go places with it. You may just have fun with it. But my goal is to make sure you guys have fun and build something that's easy to get and fun to play. Every so often, we will be diving into deeper, more powerful decks. Sometime down the road, we'll have friends with profiles on here too, hopefully. Other than that, enjoy. So today we are going to be looking at a SlashAngemon deck. So the reason I went on SlashAngemon is this is a baseline for the Shine Greymon deck that I want to build down the road because I am a very big Shine Greymon fan. Much like a lot of people, but I really enjoyed Digimon Savers when it was on. I've enjoyed the Digimon series since its inception on the Fox Kids network, and I tracked down Savers off of friend's recommendation a very long time ago, and thoroughly enjoyed that series with Shine Greymon becoming one of my favorite Digimon. So I built this to prep myself for getting a Shine Greymon deck, but I really do like the lowering the digipower of opponents, and I built this around SlashAngemon. This deck's going to be covering some minor recovery, some memory ramp, but mostly it's going to be focusing around depowering the opponent's Digimon in order to get out of combat kills while still swinging at the face for security checks. So let's hop into it. So we are going to be running 4 Cupimons, because in early game this will let us draw a few cards depending on how hard we can go at them and what we can evolve onto Cupimon. We're going to be running 4 of him, and then we're going to be running 1 Tokamon. Tokamon is just probably one of my favorite of the not baby Digimon, but in training Digimon. Mostly for the cute thing that turns into a giant blade. It very much reminds me of the Monty Python bunny. Its ability of when on your turn, once per turn, when opponent's Digimon is deleted by dropping its DP to 0, this Digimon gets 1,000 power. We're going to be doing a lot of that, so he'll get to trigger quite a bit. And 1,000 power can make or break a Digimon sometimes. So we're only sticking with 1 because Cupimon early game just nets us a lot of cards. So we are going with that first. For our rookies, we do have quite a bit of them because we need to dig and try and get as many as we can as possible. We're going to be running 3 copies of Lapramon, or excuse me, 4 copies of Labramon. He's an on-play 3 with the Digivolution of 0, only 1,000 power. So he won't be doing too much for you, but he's there for his evolution skill of when your opponent is deleted by their DP going to 0, you get to draw a card. So we're going to be able to start swinging and pushing and hopefully doing out-of-combat tricks with other Digimon that trigger this Digivolution inherited skill to net us more draw. We want to try and draw as much as we can with this deck in order to get as many options and dig as much as we can out of the deck. For that reason, we run a max of 4 Labramon. Next, we're running 3 of the promo Patamons. Hopefully, a lot of us got these. If not, hit me up in the comments, and I can probably make a recommendation of what we can run instead of it. The reason we're running this is it's on-play skill. On play, if you have 4 or 1 or fewer security checks, trigger recovery 1. So we're playing this maybe late game, mid to late game, to recover of security and let us go up to 1, maybe 2. So hopefully we can control the flow a little bit better or get back into the swing of things. We're only running him at a 3 right now, most because our rookies are very weak powered and mostly there for quick on-play skills or inherited skills that gain us advantage later in the game. We're running 3 copies of the Uncommon Patamon, which is a 3 to play, a 0 to Digivolve. 1000 Digipower, which is very easy. We're just, again, using it for its inherited skill. Of your turn, once per turn, when your opponent's when an opponent's Digimon is deleted by dropping his DP to 0, gain a memory. So we can do a variety of effects. We can memory ramp. With Labramon, we can draw. And then with Cupamon or Tokomon, we can give plus 1000 power depending on how we want to go or what we think we need to do. If we need to mana ramp more, we drop Patamon. If we need more draw power, we drop Labramon. Then we're running 2 copies of the rare Patamon, which is an on-play, so he has a casting cost of 3, Digivolution of 0, 2000 power. He's here for his skill. It says reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, add all yellow Tamers to their hand, place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. So for a casting cost of 3, we can dig for the top 4, hopefully hit either TK or Kari. Hopefully down the road, also Taichi, depending on what he's going to do in the Shine Greymon line. We may be taking him out later on down the road when this becomes a Shine Greymon deck. I'm not too sure, but he lets us dig for our Tamers. We run plenty in the deck, so I'm only needing to run 2 of him. But we're using him to round out our rookie phase. For our champions, we're going to be running 4 of our 4 Caesarmons. Caesarmon is a jamming. He's a 4 casting cost, 2 Digivolution cost, 4000 power. He's going to be our primary attacker because he has jamming. So we're going to try and keep swinging with him as much as we possibly can. He can get powered up a little bit depending on what's out there, but not by much. At most, he'll become a 5000 power champion, but he's mostly in here because of his jamming. Next, we run 2 copies of the starter deck Angemon. He's a 5 casting cost, 2 cost Digivolution with 4000 power. That's okay. He's here because of inherited skill. When attacking, if you have 4 more security, gain a memory. So he is, along with that Patamon, helping us memory ramp. So we can get out of combat kills via a option or a larger Digimon out on the field. And then swing with him and gain some memory. And then we're running 4 copies of Unimon. We are very light on our champions. That's just because we really kind of don't have any champions we need to run at the moment. The other reason is because we're digging so much for cards. So, Unimon is just our 6k blocker. He's a 5 casting cost, 2 Digivolution cost. When he attacks, you lose 2 memory, but we're never going to be attacking with Unimon. We're only going to be blocking. For our ultimates, we're going to be running 3 copies of the starter deck Magna Angemon. His 7 casting cost, 3 Digivolution cost, 7k. He can swing pretty decently. When he is attacking, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 1000 power. We can couple that with a couple of other cards in the deck. Plus, this is an inheritable skill, so our Megas can do a lot more with this. But he can swing down into most Digimon that are causing problems to prevent them from creeping up on us, because we are a pretty weak early game deck in terms of power that slowly ramp up or has to be supplemented with effects. So with him, his inheritable skill lets us gain a new component for minus 1000 power. Again, as I said before, this is supplemented with other skills. We are running, my apologies, 4 Magna Angemon. I thought I only had 3 in there. Just a slight misstep. We are also running 4 copies of Angemon. Angemon is a 6 casting cost, 3 digivolution cost, 7k power unit, no inheritable skill, and she says when digivolving, if you have 3 or less security, recover. So this lets us get at least a memory back, so long as we're around 3 or below. Again, this helps us link into our variety of skills if we need to recover, memory ramp, or get cards. It's just depending on what the game state is like and what we need to be doing. She can swing down into lower power Digimon or even trade, because we can just play her, recover, swing into something that's suspended, and then take care of that issue, hopefully, or swing down to prevent them from getting further in their Digivolutions. For our Megas, we're going to be running 2 of the starter deck Seraphimons, 12 casting cost, 4 Digivolve cost, 10,000 power. It says when attacking opponent's Digimon gets minus 4,000 power. So when we play this in a combination with Magna Angemon and where's the other one? Yeah, it's a part of me. So when we play this in combination with Magna Angemon, my apologies, I was just a little confused on something. We are swinging, and we can swing down and then delete something out of combat while in combat, but while the opponent is not in combat for minus 5,000 power. This is going to wipe out the majority of the opponent's champions and below Digimon, preventing them from getting any further in their Digivolution line, and helping us control the board while we continue to swing with characters like Angelomon and Caesarmon. He's pretty okay. I really do like Seraphimon. I do think the other Seraphimon is quite a bit better, and Kantarosmon is even better than that. Personally, again, slight bias because I'm a huge Saber / Data Squad fan. I always like them more. Just a smidge. But he serves as a good secondary Mega because he lets us, every time we swing, if we have Magna Angemon, we can continuously nuke an opponent, delete an opponent's opposing Digimon that's not even in direct combat with us at the moment. Or we can swing to face and immediately delete, like I said, a champion or below her. We're only running 2 of him. And then we are going to be running 4 copies of the main Mega, which is a little weaker in power, I will admit. But I think his Digivolution skill more than makes up for it. So we are going to be playing 4 of SlashAngemon, who's an 11 casting cost, 3 Digivolution cost, 8,000 power, which is a little weak for a Mega. I will never argue that. But I think him being able to delete an ultimate when he comes into play when digivolving kind of makes up for the lack of power because you're stopping their board dead cold. And if you put him on, put him with just on his own, really, you can start swinging to the face, or you can do some other tricks, but keep getting him out on the board, and it's going to make it harder for the opponent to get out their Megas because especially if you go first and you keep them to very low memory, you bring him in, you nuke their ultimate, they got to start from scratch. And that puts them at a massive disadvantage that you're able to bring somebody on play that just outright deletes an ultimate Digimon. So he is our key guy. He is the ultimate Mega we want to play. For Tamers and option cards, we're going to be running 4 of Kairi. Or Kari. Kari is if you have 3 or less, 3 or fewer security cards, gain a memory. She helps in memory ramp while we're in the mid game to long game. You can also play her via security. If she's security checked, she goes right into play. She has a 3 casting cost. This leads into our mana ramp situation, where we want to sit around 2 to 3 memory almost most games, because we can continuously get more memory for free, or excuse me, we want to continuously sit around 2 to 3 security so that Kyrie can trigger and continuously gain us more and more memory so we can do more tricks via options or hard casting Digimon or digivolving Digimon. We're running 2 of the set TK, and he's kind of wordy, so you'll have to excuse me. His security skill is you can play him when he's comes out of security. He's a 4 casting cost. The start of your turn, if you have 2 or less memory, set your memory to 3. And then on play, if your security stack, look at your security stack and reveal 1 card and add it to your hand. If it's a yellow card, if the card is yellow, you can trigger memory +1. So you can even toolbox what you need out of your memory, so long as you meet TK's requirements, and get a free memory by getting a memory. We're only running 2 of him because he's higher casting cost, and his ability is just a little much and a little unneeded right now. He'll be much more pivotal when this becomes a Shine Greymon deck, be it the mono yellow or yellow red variant. We are also going to be running 4 of the starter deck TKs. These are 2 casting costs. Just on your opponent's turn, your security Digimon get 2,000 power. We have very, very weak Digimon for a lot of the rookies. And yes, again, I'll admit SlashAngemon is not that strong. But with this TK out and multiple TKs, he can get pretty big. So long as he comes out of security. He, of course, has the inheritable security skill of play this card without paying its casting cost. So, for option cards, we are going to be running 3 of Blade of Truth. Blade of Truth is a 2 casting cost. During the main phase trigger, draw 1 for every 2 security. So, early game, this nets us 3 cards. And then as we go down, this becomes less and less good. But being able to draw 3 cards early game, again, we do have to dig for some of this stuff, especially our champions, because we don't run many champions. I do see this as kind of a boon. Plus, its security skill says if it's checked, we can just do this skill without paying the casting cost, which security check for 2 free cards, I'm okay with that. And then finally, we are running 2 copy of 7 Heavens. This is basically the yellow equivalent to Trump Swords, and to a degree, Shield of the Just, like in the fact that it's a 7 casting cost that lets you do the main effect when it comes out of security, and it pretty much outright deletes an opponent's Digimon. Kind of. It lowers its power by 10,000, which will get rid of most Digimon. If not nearly all, but a very few amount of Megas. And maybe some Ultimates, because I know Blue has some very high-powered Ultimates. But still, you check this, most of the Digimon are going to be deleted outright. So we're running just 2 of those because it is a 7 casting cost. Guys, that is my SlashAngemon deck. It's very fun. I've been goldfishing and playtesting against myself with a couple of my other higher power decks. It does pretty well, honestly. Victory is about 50-50, depending on how quickly you can get SlashAngemon out and how quickly you're able to control the board with all your lowering of Digipower. Again, this is not the strongest thing, but I don't always advocate for the strongest. I try to advocate for the most creative and more fun. So give this a shot if you want to build it. If not, this is a good solid base for the Shine Greymon deck, as I said before. And I've been your local Tamer, and I'll see you next time.